Hi, my name is Louis R. Perez, and I am the songwriter and publisher of the Viaticus CD collection. This video is about how to listen to a popular song. What you just heard was the introduction of one of my songs. It's an R&B piece where the organ plays a chord 4 times with a reply by a trumpet choir following each chord. At the last reply, the trumpets make a bend in their sound and are followed by a quick drum roll on a low-end tom-tom's drum before going into the first verse, sung by the alto and the entire band, which includes percussion or drums, bass, piano as well as organ, trombones as well as trumpets, and backup voices. Surprisingly enough, not everyone knows how to listen to what they hear. Hopefully, after this presentation, you'll have a greater understanding of what all your songs are all about and begin to develop the foundations of accurate musical perception. Now, before we begin, we have a few housekeeping matters to take care of. First, under advice of attorney, we must honor the copyrights of our colleagues in the business, and so we can discuss their work or play short passages of their music on keyboard, but nothing else. If you would like to hear samples of their music, when mentioned, you can easily go to Apple iTunes, Rhapsody, or any of your favorite internet retailers to listen to what I'm explaining. And while you're there, if you really like the music a lot, you can conveniently purchase them on that site. Otherwise, the music that you will hear will be from my own albums. Repeat the video as necessary to completely understand the material. You can also jot down the names of the songs we talk about and listen to them, then come back to the video. Secondly, for the more educated music professional that may be watching this presentation, I will reduce highly academic material to friendly descriptions or may disregard them completely, using plain colloquial language to make the presentation as entertaining as possible for the general public. Finally, I know there are visitors to this video that may be teenagers, possibly younger. I know that you have school, friends, as well as other activities on your schedule. And if you choose to watch this presentation, I am flattered and honored by your visit and hope that you leave with something that helps you have more fun with your favorite songs and possibly discover the rich heritage of music that your parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents were all fond of. To introduce you to more music, most of the examples will be of earlier songs. Okay, so now let's get into it and start by defining some necessary terms. What is a song? Basically, it's a short piece of music for voice with text or lyrics. Sometimes the words are an illustration of a situation, possibly prose or poetical material. The words and music are almost equally important as they express personal feelings and emotions. A popular song, however, differs significantly in that it is current music that appeals to a wide group of listeners and heard frequently for as long as the public wants to listen to it. A popular song is transitory. After the song makes its way up the charts, reaching its peak, it turns around and eventually becomes part of the history books, making way for the next new song. In addition, words and music are the norm, with only a minority of music that will not have any words or lyrics at all, but they will be categorized as songs within the music industry as this music also climbs up the charts. Yet, there are some songs that are just resting in place until they are pulled out of the shelf and when heard, instantly grab the attention of listeners. These songs are immortal because they have that much power in their tunes. Some examples are Over the Rainbow, as performed by Judy Garland, I'm Your Hoochie Coochie Man, performed by Muddy Waters, and Crazy, performed by Patsy Cline.
We were holding hands, oh my goodness, holding hands. We were holding hands. At the club, she stood from the back, a tank top dress with a string of pearls and a pair of Mary Janes that matched her clothes. She wore a perfume I could never afford, but it turned a guy's head as she passed him by. We met and walked and danced the floor.
That was a pop song, somewhere in the middle, where we just heard the end of the chorus section, followed by a verse, and then the chorus again. The lead or principal voice was a second tenor with a slightly raspy quality, and a group of female backup voices. There was a prominent electric bass guitar with a second guitar playing mild embellishments and a drum set or percussion. Within the percussion, we heard a cymbal, snare, and bass drums. Now that we have an idea of what a popular song is, how do we actually define listening? Actually, there are one of two ways. When we go for a drive with the radio on, dance to the music, or even work the vacuum cleaner in the house with music playing from our iPod. In each case, the songs don't have our complete attention because something else is in progress at the moment. We call this passive listening because the songs are only part of the experience. On the other hand, when the music is the center of attention without any distractions, closely examining all the details of it, we call this active listening. To go a step further, active listening can be subdivided to objective and subjective listening. Objective listening occurs when the listener describes factual information of the songs. Let's take She Loves You by the Beatles as an example and listen closely to how I describe it here. We can hear 3 parts to the song with guitars and percussion or drums. We also hear the voices at times singing all together and at times only 2. Subjective listening, however, involves description that goes beyond the facts or may not even take the facts at all into account. Using the same Beatles song, listen carefully how I describe it now. The song sounds like it's in 3 parts, and that chorus is just so cool. When John and Paul sing together, they sing like angels. But the drummer just doesn't play like what I'm used to hearing. See the difference? In the subjective description, opinion was injected. I like, I don't like, etc. Whereas the objective statement leaves side comments out, talking only about what's really there. This is a very common inaccuracy you should strive to avoid. Remember, what you describe about the music is much more perceptive than what you think about it. As an exercise, working with the Beatles, go to the White Album and listen to number 9. As you listen, think about staying focused with objectivity throughout the piece. Afterwards, think to yourself about everything that was going on in the song. If you do this exercise with a friend, have a conversation with them, examining what you heard objectively. You may end up surprising yourselves of a hidden talent inside you. The world is made up of many different people with varying degrees of understanding topics in conversation. In the discussion of musical perception, work your end of the conversation so that you are clear in your description. The point behind this is to have an enjoyable social experience with it. As we end this video, you'll hear another example that includes a baritone singing, percussion, bass guitar, and a Stratocaster guitar sounding almost as a second voice to the baritone. The area of the song is the chorus section followed by a Stratocaster guitar passage which moves on to the next verse of the song. We don't have any more time on this segment. I hope you've enjoyed what we've done so far, and if you would like to continue with me on our journey in listening perception, look for part 2, which will be uploaded in a few weeks, where we will be discussing the variety of popular songs. I'm Louis R. Perez. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Dance, Sally, Mom, 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 dance, Sally, Mom. When she's dancing, all their eyes are watching her. They try to make it look like they don't notice